Peace. Jamal Robinson, 720astrology.com. So on March 24th, Pluto made its ingress into the sign of Aquarius. This is a big deal because Pluto hasn't been here for nearly 250 years. So big deal. Pluto is a very intense energy. And so we're going to look at 10 things that we may see occur or unfold while Pluto moves through Aquarius over the next 20 years. Number 1, the ugliness of technology, society / community. The ugliness. Because Pluto is Lord of the underworld, it reveals things that to the eye may not be pleasant. Things that to the ear, to the taste, they aren't pleasant to the senses at all because it's deep beneath the earth. Beautiful vegetation and flowers grow above ground, but they come from where they come from we don't want to look at. You know, some good old feces had to be used to fertilize the ground, and nitrogen and ammonia, and worms are crawling through that soil to aerate that soil, and they're defecating while they're moving through. But all this stuff is plutonian, and all these things are ugly, but they are the true components of wealth, because without them, there can't be the beauty which is enjoyed above ground. So Pluto will come through and show the hidden side of things, technology, society, and community, so that the real beauty can emerge. 2, elimination of individuality in favor of groupthink. This is a potential negative, as well as number 1, the ugliness of technology. You know, that's not something that won't emerge and show itself as something that's just beautiful and lovely. But ultimately, I must say, Pluto is looking to bring about transformation at a soul level. And it sounds cool and cliche when it's said, but it's very painful when it is endured. So when we talk about elimination of individuality in favor of groupthink, that's ugly. But what it does is shows the real fear of those who seem to be in power, and the real power, it shows where the real power lies. If there is a coordinated attempt to eliminate individuality in favor of groupthink, then that will highlight the power that small groups of people really have. Otherwise, why would entities that seem to be so powerful be so hell-bent on trying to eliminate one's individuality? Aquarius is naturally associated with the 11th house, which is what do we do together? But in the midst of that us, there is still I. Because the opposite of Aquarius is Leo. Leo is personal expression. So Aquarius is the personal expression as it is part of a group. But that group is nothing if it's just a bunch of automatons, empty wagons just rolling down the hill. Aquarius is only fully functional when there's a communion amongst people who have their own identity. And through having their own identity, they find a collective something that they attach to, and they bring their individual identities as jewels or components or shards of light to put together to form something bigger than just themselves. But it is not supposed to be them relinquishing their own their individual identity and their ability to think critically individually. Because after all, that prevents tyranny. So we may see that an uptick in that, the attempted elimination of individuality in favor of groupthink. Number 3, the destruction of traditional methods, models, structures, shifting power to the people. This is the positive side of Pluto expressing in Aquarius. This is the potential of what can be, where traditional strongholds that have been in place to hamstring the people are broken, and the power shifts to the people in a healthy manner. Key, healthy manner. Number 4, communities / groups formed around soul alignment. Here's another extension of that positive transformative energy of Pluto moving through Aquarius, where certain groups form based on a soul alignment, soul Pluto, based on the fact that they come from similar soil. They have similar chemicals and minerals that form the underworld that produces who they are. And that underworld would be the soul. So we can see very well, very possibly, powerful bonds and groups arising based on the fact that something deep down connects. Number 5, the removal of old taskmasters. That's a Saturn word. And the birth of new systems, or the unveiling of systems that have been long hidden. So as these bonds are broken, these chains are broken, we can see new systems come into play. Now that can be positive or negative, but let's take it for the positive aspect, that new systems that are transformative and evolutionary can emerge. And at the same time, systems that have been buried, covered over, hidden, re-emerging, now being unveiled, and society, humanity as a whole, being able to now access things that have been intentionally hidden away to prevent their healthy evolution. 6, we could see the development of toxic groups, i.e. cults. Just as groups can develop in a healthy manner and they be transformative, we can very well see cults, new cult-like activity emerge. The dark side of Pluto is that, as the mythology states, he comes from the underworld and he is obsessed with Persephone. He has no lover. He's obsessed with her. He kidnaps her, takes her to the underworld, changes the trajectory of man from there on, because now Ceres, or Demeter, is Persephone's mother, and she is furious. She's furious and she's frantic. She can't find her daughter. She takes food away from man. Because of that, there's a great famine, because she loses her daughter. That aspect of Pluto of I have to have this obsessive energy, that can often be exuded from cults, where there's this great desire to be a part of something, to have a relationship, where there's such a deep feeling of lack, to where people can be hornswoggled into being part of something that they really don't want to be part of. But because they feel so empty and such a great feeling of lack, then they can find themselves in a situation they didn't really sign up for, or they didn't know they were signing up for. Number 7, new forms of control implemented around social media. I mean, we already see all that unfolding now. Social media, Aquarius, new forms of control. Pluto can be very controlling. Number 8, truth unveiled about government/corporate control. That's a natural extension of number 7, that as we see these attempts to control, then basically we start to see who's behind the curtain, who's the puppeteer. And so the onion will be peeled more and more while Pluto moves through Aquarius. And the people will be making discoveries and coming to social media and reporting their discoveries. The people, there's a rise of intelligence coming. It's already happening. People are going to become more interested in books, interested in old videos, interested in hidden knowledge, and discovering it, unearthing it, and then presenting it to the people. Number 9, soul upgrades, new timelines initiated. Definitely, we're already on a new timeline. It was initiated on December, was that 24th of 2020, with the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees of Aquarius. That was the initiation. Now Pluto is coming to tear down the walls, to release the soul essence, so that now we actually start moving from just initiation into unstoppable force. So as this timeline continues to move, those on the frequency will experience soul upgrades, while we may also see a lot of people, their mainframe getting burned out because it can't accept and adjust to the upgrades. Number 10, the mind expands, old paradigms go. This is what this is what will happen, not may. This is what will happen and must happen while Pluto moves to Aquarius. The energetic signature says, let go, evolve, expand. But we can be hard-headed and stiff-necked and resist and suffer more than necessary because of the inability to expand our minds and continue to evolve and to upgrade with the planet and our solar system. We can be resistant and hard-headed. So it is a statement of what is to come and what must happen. The must is we must expand our minds. We must upgrade. We must let old paradigms go and not be so rigid in, well, this is what I know. This is the truth. I'm not going any further. We're all being challenged to think outside the box without jumping into a new box. So just some things to reflect on and think about as we move forward. One thing I want to say, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We are here. We're walking into a new world. And so there's so much fear mongering going on the internet. But at the end of the day, let's say if whatever's going to happen is going to happen. My dad used to say that every generation has thought they were living in the end times. So he said, son, you don't waste your time trying to figure out when everything's going to end. You got to live. And I think it's important to keep this in mind, even with all these huge energies and things unfolding. Keep living until the clock stops. Because fear is crippling. Fear causes things to freeze. You can't live in fear and growth at the same time. When you're fear, your body must constrict. It must pull blood from the growth organs and the growth faculties to have that blood ready for the fight or flight mode, which is pure survival. So as long as we function under fear, there's no potential for growth. And we can become held in stasis, which is a deliberate effort. So while I am very mindful of disturbing things unfolding, I have to remind myself all the time and remind others that I speak with, keep living. This is not the time to throw your hands up and all those dreams you've had and all those ideas to chuck them into the garbage pail because, well, I missed my chance and world's about to end and everything's about to hit the fan and nah. I'm gonna continue to move. But what we can do is be cautious, keep our vessels in check, do what's necessary to upgrade our vessels externally and internally, and protect ourselves, be aware of our surroundings, but still continue to move forward. As always, I'm available for private conversations, counseling, readings through my website, 720astrology.com. Till next time, peace.